Hello, my name is John Kulas. I am a 20-year professor of industrial and organizational psychology. I'm a 10-year user of R for statistical applications, and for the last 6 or 7 years, probably more than that now, I've also been using R as an authoring platform. So creating things like this robot themed slide deck that you're looking at here with a nice little animation in the bottom. We'll talk about that. We'll revisit that. But every week I get together with some of my collaborators on authoring projects and we just hang out for an hour and make ourselves available if anyone out there is interested in doing this kind of stuff and has questions for people that have been doing it for a little while. We're not complete experts on this stuff, but we've got quite a bit of experience across a few different people who pop in every now and then. So certainly probably enough to help get you over a hump on something or even just get your foot in the door on using R to author things. So every there's supposed to be a tone there. I don't know if I heard a tone. Let's see if we can refresh this. I might have waited too long. There we go. Wonder if I waited too long on that. So last week we were playing, last 2 weeks really, we were playing with all kinds of options for presenting slides that are authored via R and via Quarto, the platform that we've primarily been using for the last few months here. But one of the options that we played, well, first of all, one of the options was this little animation on the lower right hand corner that you see here. And then another animation was a tonal cue for visually impaired uh, viewer. I know isn't the right word, but for people who might be interested in your presentation, but they're visually impaired. And so went ahead and enabled that for tonight's slide deck. That's not something we'll normally have, but as it was a feature that we were looking at, I decided to just go ahead and include it. So every week we just kind of hang out for an hour, as I said. We make ourselves available if there's anyone who is interested in trying to build their skills in authoring things using R as a using primarily R. Diego, if he pops in, he's also proficient at Python. I'm not. But using a language that historically would be associated with a statistical platform in an authoring sense. Oh, look, we got a early guest here.
Vamos a ver, ¿qué es lo que pasa con los alcaldes? ¿Qué es lo que pasa con los alcaldes? ¿Qué es lo que sí, ¿qué está pasando con los alcaldes?
Hey, hello.
Hey, Diego. I'm glad you're here because I'm out of my element tonight. So
How come?
I, I,
AI?
yeah, I just, I don't know anything about it. I don't really know how to interact with it. I don't know how to use it.
The less you know, the better.
You think so?
I don't know. It's super easy if you can. Yeah, it's just you just ask things to the chat button. It just gives you whatever.
Well, to that extent, I understand it. Yes. But I know just like it's probably not a lot, and we've talked about this before, but it's probably not a whole lot different from something like using a search engine, right? You just,
Yeah, it shortens the time. The AI searches Google for you instead of having you
but I
do
mean,
it.
even like the prompt. So historically, Google, the way that you phrased your question would, have an impact on the quality of the answer. And I know that seems to be the big thing with all these different AI derivative kind of tools. So, and because there's prompt engineers, right? That's a thing now. That's a job, or it's going to be a job at least. It probably is a job somewhere, but that's one of those projected positions, right? Someone who,
Yeah, where you kind of train the large language model. Like you write a bunch of prompts in order to like train it for specific tasks.
oh, okay. See, when I heard that phrase, I was assuming that was someone who was interacting with an AI, kind of like a manager, not someone on the training side of it, but someone on the end user side of it. But
Yeah, and you train like train it to do specific things. Like maybe you have one that it's for, I don't know, cleaning data in R, another one that's like for scheduling things in your calendar or whatever, and then you sort of like boss them around like a manager. You just tell it what to do, and because it's trained already, you've been training it, feeding it all these prompts, and it's already trained. It tends to be more efficient than if it's just you just ask ChatGPT whatever.
Okay, well that's more in depth than I thought. So we might have to have another discussion about that at some point. You can you can fill me in on it. But so we'll do a quick recap of what happened last week before we get into using the what I'm calling the shiny AI bot. And last week we just continued our exploration of these slide decks, and you see there's some features here, some options that we enabled that we don't typically have on these slide decks. One is the tone that you're hearing. So Diego, I think before you popped in, I was mentioning that here on line 12, there is a default YAML specification that you can enable this tone cue for visually impaired people who might be interested in your presentation. This it's kind of, I don't know if it's Microsoft Edge. I got my computer set up right now, so these HTML files, normally my browser is Chrome, but when they are coming out of RStudio, right now I have RStudio associated with Edge, Microsoft Edge. And so I was having some issues in terms of that tone working the way that I thought it ought to work. So it starts, and this is going to get annoying, so I won't do too much of it, but it starts supposedly at kind of a low C, and then it proceeds to a high C. I believe that the final slide, no matter how long it is, should be a high C. So one octave, you're traveling one octave. There are some menu options here, and so I think the slide deck that we have for today, all of these menu options have been set. So if we click on those three bars, the menu should come out from the right, which is different. The width of it is a third of the screen. That looks about right. And then the numbers true in this menu section of the YAML, the numbers true are just numbering the slides themselves. And this might be important if we do things like hierarchies within the slides, which we've been playing with the last couple of weeks, and I think I'm going to get rid of it because it's just nothing but confusing. Let's take one more look at that, and you can see some of the confusion if we look at the slide overview here. This layout is just jumbling. It's going from left to right, kind of. It's going from left to kind of all the way to the right, but then you go down, then you go back up, and you go down. It's kind of a neat feature to have, but the people who provide this platform for us even say you might want to only enable these features cautiously. So you can set this whole menu section to false if you want to hide those three bars in the lower left. The menu content is still going to be available, but those three bars won't be there. I kind of like those three bars. They remind me of Luke Skywalker a little bit. Or maybe 3 Luke Skywalkers, or just Jedi in general with blue swords, I think. You can go left or right with the emergence. The default is left, so normally it comes out from the left when you activate those three horizontal lines. And then the width, they have a few different options built in. This isn't something I can really foresee changing all that much. With the one exception being, I guess if your slide titles are super long, you might want to, where'd I lost, sorry. I lost my slide overview. I think I'm on a bad toggle on this. There it is. So the aspect of it that I think I was just talking about, oh, the width. The width, I suppose you might want to play with the width if some of your slide titles are super long, right? So they don't get cut off. I don't think they auto wrap on this. So you might want to go wider if those slide titles are particularly long. Oh my God, I broke something here. This is different. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Have you ever seen this, Diego? This is interesting. We hit some combination of some combination of features as we're playing with this thing here that
Oh,
don't like the
sorry, I
cube.
was I was playing with the Shiny app and I didn't see what you did.
Oh, that's okay.
What
No,
did you break?
that's a better use of time. Well, I was playing with the menu, just talking about the menu, and then I lost the outline when well, I'm gonna repeat it now. So we'll probably repeat the same problem. But I lost the outline when I went to the slide overview to talk about the complication of things, and I wanted to go back to the slide outline. Um, and there you actually see we kind of broke the menu again. So it seems like it does not want to um, reset once we go to that slide overview. But I was just trying to demonstrate that um, the width option might be something of interest if you have really, really long titles. So long titles, I don't believe they wrap here. So you can see rendering is looking close to kind of being cut off. And so the other options there, the normal is less than what we have there with, I'm sorry, we had wide specified. Uh, we had third specified. So that's going to be 30 your screen. Wide is in between normal and third, and then you can go half, you can go full. And then there's other values you can actually put in that are standard CSS values for things like size. Um, Now that's just the menu, the slides themselves. One of the things we talked about last week is getting a slide number not just on the menu but on the slides themselves, and how that's both kind of a nice thing but kind of a confusing thing as well. And the reason there's some confusion here is because we have this possibility to stack slides in a hierarchy and have moving left to right as well as moving up and down. I always get I always feel like I should be more Catholic when I do the left to right, up and down thing, because I don't know the great progression of that, and I know I'm not technically supposed to be blessing like that because I'm not Catholic, but I always get the sense that
But
I'm.
Catholics do what from left to right?
Well, they do the sign of the cross, right?
Oh, I see. What you
Have
mean? Yeah.
have you never been in front of a class and like said rows and columns and got self conscious about that? Every time I do rows and columns, I get self conscious about that.
No, I don't make many hand gestures. I was
Maybe
probably a
that's my.
very monotonous teacher.
It's a good point. So that's probably my issue. Anyway, the the way that matrices are almost universally specified are row first and column second, and the way that it's built in here with the current revealed JS options on a slide number, if we do have stacking or this hierarchy, and again the stacking or hierarchy, you can see it most evidently if we look at this overview. So I have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, and then I have row 1 at the top, row 2, and row 3. Now if we just kind of take a look in the upper right hand corner here of these slide numbers, you're seeing it's doing column first and row second. And so it really bothers me. It shouldn't be that way. We don't, it's universally, it should be row first, column second. We've tried it. We tried to force it. So that wasn't something that we could seem to use, at least with their syntax. So v.h doesn't work. We decided we don't like the h/v option because that looks like the c/t, and I'm talking about these pink letters that we have here in the expanded balloon explanation here. So C means the slide number itself, and T means the total. So T makes sense. C it probably makes sense to somebody. So you can either have slide 1 out of 8 or however many it is, or you can just have slide 1, that would be C, or you can have the horizontal and vertical specified. I have horizontal vertical specified without that slash notation because the slash notation, just people I think are going to tend to think that it's the slide number out of the total number instead of the horizontal and the vertical slides. So it does get super confusing if you do engage in this slide or hierarchy. However, it does give you this nice little four-way map that you can use here, and you can go wherever you want from slide to slide. So that's kind of cool. The controls, the default is not to have them in the lower right like this. I just kind of thought that was neat stylistically. So we you can have them a few different places. The default is on the left and right of the screen and top and bottom of the screen, but we just grouped them all down there with a very simple YAML command. Um, the controls tutorial, that's what's causing these to move a little bit when I hover over them. And they get impatient. So if you don't do anything for a while, they'll actually be animated as well. And then the slide tone, we already talked about as well. The slide deck, if you access it this week, if you access the link that I posted in the comments with the slide deck, this, what you're seeing on the right here, is not going to be fully enabled. And that's probably okay because less people will have an epileptic seizure if this isn't enabled. But the reason that this is working on my computer, not the posted one, is there's a extension that is on my local computer, and it's not on a fully published version because I'm starting to get nervous about using up so much of their free available space that they make available to us. Um, so the entire slide deck this week isn't fully available online, but the only part that's not available is this Embedio, which is an extension that lets us embed another full presentation within the presentation that we're actually giving. And so what this is demonstrating here is another thing we played with was this auto slide feature. And so you wouldn't normally set it to this fast, but just to give an idea of what it can look like or what our full slide deck looked like from last week, we actually set it to pretty fast. It's in milliseconds, so it's just flipping every second. And then the loop is saying, do I keep going when I get to the end or not? So it's pretty self-explanatory. This Embedio extension is kind of nice. You can still, it operates as a full um, presentation itself, just with these controls that are coming up here. So if anyone's interested in that, you can pull this file from our GitHub page. It just won't be fully active on the link that is has a book down word in the URL itself. So today what we're going to be looking at is this Shiny AI bot. What I'm calling, I don't know, Diego, is that the right way to refer to this thing? It's not really a bot, is it?
It's more like a large language model trained to produce Shiny app code. So that's what I mean by training the LLM to do a specific task. Like here, it's trained to create Shiny apps. But I don't know what it's powered by. I think probably GPT. Or maybe it's like their own LLM from Posset.
There's a link on here. Do you want to share screen, Diego, since you're going to be 1,000 times better at this than me?
Okay, share screen.
And then we can think about, I don't know, we can think about what we want to build, I guess.
Okay, I made this goofy face. I told it, create a goofy Shiny app, create the goofiest Shiny app ever. And it made this, but it gave me an error. So then I had to put in the error, and it fixed it, but then created another error. So I just put that in, and then it worked. I guess it works fine, quote unquote.
Well, can you that is a goofy app, I would say.
You can change the apparently this is the nose, and these are 2 eyes.
Okay.
And you can make it say whatever, like.
Or you can make it talk.
No, you just put text there, and apparently that's talking. You can randomize it. I don't know. Yeah, it is goofy.
Well, okay, so let's go to that URL because in the slide deck that link should work fine. So if anyone else wants to go to that URL, let's build one from scratch. So it's giving you an option of R and Python. I'm gonna open it on my end too, so I can see what's going on. Oops, I gotta turn off that tone. It's gonna drive people crazy. I'm gonna re-render this without the tone, I think. Okay, concise. What is concise? Concise, verbose, code only. Did you play with that at all, Diego?
No.
There's an
Hmm.
advanced settings too. So that advanced settings on the wheel next to the concise, it says use your own API key. I'm guessing that I'm completely speculating here, but would it be possible that maybe you can use different LLM engines, and that's what that's for?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be. Unless
Okay.
you want it, or maybe it's for like if you want to build an app and you want it to like for this specific website that you're working on, you can then, use the API key, and that way, Shiny connects to that website, and you can like put an app there or modify one that exists there already.
You know what's funny about this is you and I have been working on our dashboard. Well, we have I mean, we've been intending to work on our dashboard, but one of the things I keep saying is like we need more instructions. And man, this is kind of stylistically just kind of pretty. There's not much on here in terms of instruction, but I think the people that are probably going to use it, this is probably self-explanatory, right? Except for the concise and verbose, so maybe we'll play with that. Um,
Okay, so what app do you want to make?
um, let's. What if we do? Should we try to make a data-driven app? So something that uses one of those existing data sets, like Palmer Penguins or Cars or MT Cars or Iris,
Hmm.
because everyone would have access to those.
Um.
And we can make. We should we specify instead of app? Should we ask for a dashboard, or is it going to make these into essentially dashboards? It's something we can play with, I guess.
I don't know. Let's see what it comes up with.
What did you put in there?
Make make an app that uses the MT cars dataset with some cool purpose.
Wait, did you say for some cool purpose? Was that your
Yeah,
wording?
yeah.
I think if we use idiomatic language, we might have to go to Grok. Because isn't Grok the one that kind of picks up on idioms and has some edge to it?
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe I think we might need to train our LLM specifically for that.
We'll do our own.
Point.
All
What
right, so
is
what do you
this?
got there,
Horsepower.
Diego? You have code on the left and you have the actual app on the right. Is that right?
Yeah. So it creates like an R Studio environment, kind of. I mean, not
Yes.
really. It's more like
I wonder if that's Shiny Live.
no,
There's
no, it's just using Shiny.
okay. So I wonder if it's where it's hosting that. It's almost got to host it on the gallery itself, right? No, it does say gallery. I'm gonna take off the assistant on there and see it. No, there aren't any. There aren't any examples in there. The one thing about using all these sorts of things, this one's new. So this one only came out what 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something.
Yeah, if it's when you shared it with me, yes.
Um, but a lot of this stuff, there's so many examples out there in galleries that you can find of people that have done other stuff. I don't think we have that yet. Can you walk us through what the app does itself? Let's take a look at it, and then we can look at the code, and then maybe we can see if the code works just in an independent RStudio session.
Hmm. So it seems it just plots the scatter plot with uh, whatever like weights as a function of the cylinders, and then it does the same thing like for how horsepower and displacement. I don't know what these things even are. I'm not a cars guy, but yeah, it just shows you. And I don't know what this data table is. Filtered cars. I'm guessing this was meant to be the data set, but it's It's not really showing anything.
Well, you have a slider on the bottom there. I can't really see what it is, but is that if
Oh,
you?
this is just for transparency of the dots.
Oh, got. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Maybe that's the cool aspect.
I don't know. I think we should have been more specific. It doesn't really understand what cool is.
But it was so quick. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
should should
very.
should have should have taken more time to make it cooler.
Well, let's do another one.
Okay.
Should we make this one better, or should we try to make it
What if we tell him
cooler?
not cool enough? Make it better now.
Make a nerdy one, geeky one, nerdy one. It's using those standard colors. That's funny. That red, green, blue. What if we asked it to have the visual be a Plotly visual or something like that? Then it's writing a lot now. What did you ask it to do?
Make it more nerdy.
Uh-oh.
Let's
It's
see
gonna
what
have
happens.
like a pocket protector. No one watching this knows what a pocket protector. Do you know what a pocket protector is, Diego?
Something to protect your pocket from thieves. Like something that makes it more difficult. You want to get something from your pockets, doesn't?
No,
Hey,
well,
this
so I think it was primarily engineers. So engineers in the 50s and 60s. You know how like a nice shirt, a nice button-down shirt will have pockets here up like on your chest, pockets?
yeah.
There's just a stupid little plastic thing that fit in there. And so if your pen got too inky, it wouldn't ruin your shirt. It's a pocket protector. Well,
No,
this
it's doing
looks
like regression here and everything. It's cool.
so it interpreted nerdy as statistics. How does that make you feel? As
Oh.
someone as someone whose career is based on statistics.
I don't know, but it is. I would say it's cool. Now it's cooler at least.
So the geek nerd guys that ask for it to be geekier, nerdier, now think that the previous cool thing is cooler. I
I wonder what we changed now to like code only. Didn't change anything.
oh
I guess code
okay.
only
So
shows
so
the code.
can you walk through some of what it's saying then too? So that's the verbose versus concise. It's probably giving us like a long explanation or a long annotation or explanation or a little annotation or explanation.
No, I don't see any annotation. Let's ask himself. Let's see. What are the concise? No. Uh,
Uh-oh. What if we blow it up? If we ask it about itself.
yeah.
Do you ever see the IT Crowd, Diego? That British show?
No. IT crowd is like Silicon Valley.
N- no, it's a British comedy. It had 3 seasons. Um, first season's the best, but there was a good second season episode. I think it was second season where the manager of the IT department, she doesn't know anything about IT, and she kind of faked her way into the job. But uh, they convince her that the internet is in this black box that they have, and then she drops the box at a meeting, and everyone thinks the end of the world is coming. But they also convinced her that if you type Google into Google, that also destroys the internet. So
Really?
it
Test
was
it.
funny at the
Well,
time. But like asking this thing,
no.
what verbose means, that maybe it'll be like typing Google into Google.
I did do that a few times, opening this and just to go to Google and type in Google there.
What did it do?
it just took me to Google
Well,
there.
we're still alive, so testing fate. Are you sure verbose? Because it looks to me code only, concise, verbose. It looks to me like that would be comments or it would be descriptions of what it's giving you. Because what we're seeing is small, but it looked like there's a left-hand vertical panel that looks like that. So something's happening. And then there's a middle one, which is the code. Then there's a right one, which is the app itself.
Oh, it seems that it's just a matter of how much it explains. With code only, it just gives you the code. It doesn't explain anything. With concise, it gives a little bit, and then with verbose, it's like a ton of explanations.
Okay. So this could be a good kind of educational thing too, then, right? If you want, can we try one with concise and see if it tells us like what the code means? Or
Yeah,
what if we
that's the one
tell
I
it?
used before.
Um, Diego, should we tell it to stay away from the tidyverse?
Huh.
Make a Palmer Penguin app without using the tidyverse. But yes, use Plotly as your visual. I'd like to see a Plotly.
Mm.
See if your computer starts smoking. I'm sorry. At some point, they got to come back to you and say, "Fix your grammar, otherwise, I'm not going to help."
There we go.
What'd you say?
What was it?
What did you say? What did you ask?
No, I was yawning.
No, I know, but what did you type?
Oh, explain. No, wait. I typed make a Palmer Penguin app without using tidyverse and using a Plotly graph.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
I think it didn't work. It gave an error. Okay, so now we paste the error message there. Let's see.
Okay,
And-
so
and it-
navigating this, and this is helpful for me, Diego. I told you I don't know what I'm doing, but so you asked it to create consistent with your prompt, and you saw the error on the middle console. The middle console is what we're saying that's mimicking RStudio or Positron or whatever. There's the code in the upper left, and then the lower left looks like a console kind of output. Is that correct? So it's giving you output from the code that isn't the visual.
Where?
The the red. That's where you.
Oh yeah, this is like the console.
So in terms of problem solving, you found the error. What was the error?
The error was here. Up, no, where was it? Here. Error. Could not find function page sidebar. I don't know.
So that it's probably within a library that it's
Yeah.
probably within a package that.
Yeah, I forgot to load some library.
But you don't
Yeah,
have to load it.
bslib. Forgot to use bslib.
But the thing forgot. You didn't forget, right?
Nope.
What do we call this thing, by the way? Is it Winston? Winston AI?
Winston?
I believe that the primary author of it was it Winston Chang, the guy that he's done so much with Shiny. I thought I saw that. I should have checked that before we.
I wonder why RStudio doesn't just have, like an assistant, like Windows has Copilot, but for RStudio, because this was created by Posit, right? So it's the same guys from RStudio.
Well, you're probably looking at a beta something right here. I think Copilot is integrated within RStudio, isn't it? I just haven't used it.
It is?
I'm
Where?
pretty sure it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn it, where?
So, let me do a quick search on that. GitHub Copilot. It's in public preview. Yeah, I did hear about it in concert with GitHub. So there is some integration. It looks like you probably need to enable it by a system administrator. So they're playing with it if it's not readily available.
In RStudio here?
I swear I saw it. Well, what I'm seeing from a quick Google search, Diego, is that it's got to be. It's not coming in on default. It's something you got to set up.
Oh, I have to install it.
something. I don't know. I've been seeing and hearing GitHub Copilot for a long time, probably a year. So I might be confusing it. I assumed I saw it from within our studio, but maybe I just saw it like out there in the ether or something.
Hmm.
All right, so what do we got
Well,
for our app? That's
so this seems to be, um, yeah, I don't know. It's just a scatter plot of with the penguins flipper length over bill length. What bill? They have to pay bills.
that's their beak. That's
Uh, I was picturing like a penguin paying the IRS.
Chili Willy did. I think that was a few Chili Willy episodes. He had a money problem, if I remember right.
Okay, so that's an app,
Um,
and so the,
ca-
the instructions. The thing we wanted to look were the instructions. So there it is. It gave us this, which is not that much. These bullet points.
w-
So let's see now the same thing, but
but can
instead
you
of
walk us through those
concise,
bullet? Can you just read those a few of those maybe? Give us a flavor of what it's saying. We can't quite see it.
here. So it gave, this Shiny Apps creates an interactive scatter plot of the Palmer Penguins dataset using Plotly and without relying on tidyverse packages. Here's a brief explanation of the app, and then it just explains, this app.
Yeah, but like,
And
what is the explanation?
well, it goes over the code very briefly. So we
Oh,
load
we
the
load.
required libraries,
Awesome.
Shiny,
Okay.
Plotly, and
Yes,
Palmer
this is what I was
Penguins.
curious about. That's awesome. So this could be a fantastic educational tool.
Oh yeah, I mean ChatGPT as well. Um, but I guess this is more specialized on Shiny apps. It gives less errors than
Yeah, but
ChatGPT, I'm assuming.
they're working. This is going to be integrated within the entire IDE, I would imagine. But can you imagine, like, in a classroom context, just the the bullet point one there just says, "Yep, we're loading in the library." Like, awesome, thank you. Like, that's great.
Yeah. Then bullet two is explain the UI, and then
Is that just a general
sidebar contain.
explanation, or is that
It's just
specific to what
telling
we?
just the library that it's using. And no, not the library. I mean the function within the Shiny library, page sidebar, and like it explains what page sidebar does, and
That's
then it
fantastic.
explains what select input does in one sentence. Yeah, let me zoom in so
You
you
know
can
what?
see.
I'm glad they do it this way instead of just
You see,
annotating. You know what I mean? The way we would normally annotate, just put it in the script. It's nice having this.
and I guess you can tell it to put it on the script. I mean, yeah, like write comments on the script. You see, and now it puts comments next to the lines.
Oh wow. All right, I think I'm liking this thing. Hope I get to use it a few times before the robot Armageddon.
And then it just plots everything here.
That's awesome. Um, I think we should take the script and run it outside of the AI and just see if it works within
Oh yeah, good idea.
our studio session or our session that we create. This is cool. I'm gonna have to bookmark that one. Do you have it bookmarked, Diego?
Uh, did I?
Is this something you think you would use?
Yeah, I have it bookmarked.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see how it's that different from just using ChatGPT for now. If it was in our studio, then yes, I would, just go to our studio and it pops up.
I
That would be
guess
pretty
maybe,
cool.
yeah, I guess maybe that's one of the differences is I haven't been using any chat GPT for any code help. I know I probably should. But this Chat GPT, so if you just want to do something like build a function or something in R, does Chat GPT also give you like its thinking?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, just like this. It tells you, and you can ask it specific questions about the code, like why are you using this function, and and you can tell it to modify it. Like you just copy and paste the code, and you tell it, hey, can you modify this script so instead of having the dots be blue, they're green or they're yellow, and it'll just pop you the code. And
Do you have in the slightest bit the feeling that those little specialized areas of our field that we like paid so careful attention to and tried to nurture and grow are just not special anymore? I, I mean, that's that's a lot of time and energy and brain power and just like file space that's been devoted to being able to build these things when, not everyone can. Now everyone can. So what are we going to
yeah,
do?
well, I don't know. Most people don't even know what Shiny App is to begin with, or what RStudio is. They don't know where they have to copy and paste things.
Yeah, maybe debugging is where people like us will maybe, I don't know. I think I'm going to be homeless, but if I'm not homeless, maybe I
You
can
got, you
help
already have a home.
well, for now. I got a mortgage on it. It's technically the bank's home.
Okay, so it made the looks like the other one to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
I didn't
does.
know it had female and male there. I guess
Well, if
there we
this is
go.
Plotly, you can probably filter on male and female, right? Did you try that? Just selecting one of those?
Huh. So Plotly.
If you're on the legend, there you go.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, there we go. Cool.
that's awesome.
What do we need this for then? Just select the variables.
Wow, that's our fault because we asked it to do a Plotly specifically. But yeah, usually the sidebar is doing that filtering. It's just that I know in Plotly's that's and
Let you know what would be cool now. We ask um, ChatGPT. We
compete.
ask
You
it.
want to have
Yeah, to
competing on?
compete. Yeah.
All right.
What is this? No, Facebook.
And we have people
Okay.
vote on which one they prefer.
Okay. So same. Let's use just the same. Exactly the same prompt we put on here on the first one.
How many lines was that? Well, we can look for efficiency too.
Make a Polymer Penguin up without using tidyverse and using Plotly graph. Okay.
What if
Let's.
it says, "Hey, somebody just asked me that through a Shiny app assistant"? You think it'll say that?
Um. If you ask it what? Did someone use the
Yeah.
app?
What if it comes
This
back
app?
and says, "Someone just asked me that exact same question"?
He's like, hey, Diego, is it you?
Yeah.
And he gets jealous. He's like, no, I'm not gonna answer you. Go to that other LLM.
Go to your harlot LLM.
So yeah, it gives you instructions here. Let's put them side by side. And see how the instructions, which ones are better. Okay, so these are the instructions for this one, the Shiny App IO one. This is ChatGPT. So, ChatGPT actually goes like shows you the part of the code that it's talking about instead of
Yep.
just giving you bullet points.
But we also had concise. What if we went verbose instead of concise? I wonder if we'd get pretty much the same thing.
Okay, I guess now we ask again.
so quick. Like, I would prefer this over me too. It would take me a day to half a day to debug it and get it to work. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. Um, well, this doesn't count because we had previous stuff in there.
Gotcha. But the format's not the
That's
same.
what prompt engineering is. Like you're making it the element be really specific to the tasks you want it to do. So that's after several prompts, it kind of becomes really specific and it's not really like efficient at what you ask it. Okay, let's ask now with instead of verbose. Yeah, verbose there.
It's so quick. And the one error that we put back into it and fed it back, that did we confirm that was just a package that was missing? That
I don't
wasn't.
know because it doesn't go back on the code.
Okay,
Or
okay.
with ChatGPT, you could actually like just scroll up. Well, I guess here we could do the same thing. We just scroll up and see if the previous code didn't have, the BSL code, the BSL library, I mean. But it took this one. It took 2 attempts. It had 2 errors. Let's see if with ChatGPT it gets no error at all.
Well, okay. And how many lines was? Wait, before you paste over it, how many lines is it on the Shiny Apps one?
53,
Okay.
and here it's around the same 51.
I wonder if we let it use the tidyverse, if that. I don't think it's gonna shrink that much with this because there's not a lot of wrangling. There's not a lot of data kind of manipulation.
Oh look, it did it. But I think it has less. Actually, that's better. Yeah, more or less the same. It has one less feature. I think
But
the,
it
the
it shows a better visual though. Those dots are bigger by default, I think. Not that it matters that much, but that's definitely something on the first one that I think we would change. Although now they don't look that bad. Oh wait, that's the new one, isn't it? I'm getting confused. We got competing robots here.
so this robot has. I don't know what it has anymore. Let's just run this one.
You know what what the robots are saying to each other now.
Intruder alert, intruder alert. Behold our humanoid.
Here, so here it had also color by species.
And the default, see the default size of the plots, the scatter points themselves are a little tougher to see. That is a
Yeah,
design. That's definitely a design choice. So that there's some little differences when we don't give it any. We're not giving any parameters. It's just
yeah.
like, what if
We're
you
we're
tell
letting
this?
it be creative.
Yeah, tell this one do it for visually impaired, or d- somebody with my make it interpretable for someone with myopia. I think myopia is nearsighted. Should have done farsighted. What is farsighted?
You could even wrote myopia correctly. Okay. Um, what? It added a bunch of features now. Oh no, it just. Oh yeah, it changed the point size, so now you can modify the point size.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of what we wanted.
Yeah, and the opacity. That's cool.
Huh. I like that opacity option. That is something that would be good on just default ggplots or plotlies. I think I always end up playing with that, depending on the color and how things are overplotting with the data. That's super cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad you were here though, Diego. I don't think I would have. I don't know. I don't think I would have been able to figure this out. But this is after a little tutorial like this. This is seems pretty user friendly. Like you can just take that code and paste it right into your environment and off and run with it. And then if you want a little hand holding, you can go back and look at those descriptions that it gives you. The one thing, I guess, is that if you ask for concise and then you're like, ooh, I would have liked a little more explanation. Maybe
Yeah,
go
you
back.
cannot go back apparently.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't really like going back because it already has that in this session. Would it
But you can.
remember you if you came out and then went back in and said, hey, remember that app?
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
say, before we exit it, what if you say, uh, identify this app as, I don't know, Harold or something? Give it a name. All right, so let's go out and see if we come back and if. Oh, you know what? You want to switch to my screen for a second?
Yeah. Damn it, how do I stop? There.
Are you using polite grammar with this thing? Should I be using polite grammar?
I mean, I don't think it's gonna get offended.
Okay. Please recon.
Nah, it doesn't. It doesn't know what you're talking about.
But if you exit and came back in, would it, because it was HERL, it's like the old town crier Herald. I kind of like it. Do you want to try putting in, see if it can find Herald again for you or not?
Yeah. Let me try.
Just out of curiosity.
There. There. Yeah, I mean, I have it identified as Harold. You mean like going back?
Um, or I just
Uh,
like if you,
let's see.
yeah, is that a new session now?
Remake Harold. Based on the Harold concept. What?
No, it's the same
Harold
thing that
concept.
happened with me. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. There's got to be a way to kind of save your work session though.
Yeah, I mean, with ChatGPT, you can also do it. That's what I meant by doing prompt engineering. You save chatbots that are, specialized on whatever task you were doing. That's kind of like the base, the thing, the end goal of prompt engineering.
Well, how
To
would
have
we? So how would we do that here? Obviously, identifying it as Harold is not the way to do it.
Here, I don't think you can. I mean, in ChatGPT, let me show you. It's where's ChatGPT? Oh, here it is.
Well,
With
because
ChatGPT, you have like the chats here, and you could just create a new chat.
but but you're identified as well, right? Like this is your account.
No, I'm not logged in.
Okay.
If I were logged in, it would show me here all the chats that I used in the past month or so. Like your history.
Okay.
and you can like have it. You can like personalize it, and if you use prompt engineering, you get to personalize them to do things really, specialized on whatever you want it to be specialized. Like, I don't know, you could make a chat that's about Star Wars, and it's you only ask it Star Wars things, so it's really accurate at giving you new information about whatever's going on Disney with Star Wars, Lucasfilms.
Do you have 5 more minutes, Diego, or not?
Yeah.
Can we can we do a Star Wars app?
A shiny app.
Yeah, I think so.
I make Herald with Star Wars features.
Oh, it's gonna do the Town Crier Herald thing again. What if we just ask it to? Well, let's see what it does here. I think I'm gonna like having a robot.
Let's put
Oh, you can choose a planet. Is there some data in there that it found?
um, let's see, Coruscant, choose character, Princess Leia. What? That's
Ah,
that's not Princess Leia. That's
that was her gold bikini. I'm guessing
like the
that was
message.
before they chose the gold bikini. They gave her the gold C3PO.
What is this for?
That's if you look at the top, it's gonna say hear ye," and then it'll say whatever you. Oh, it says from the depths of Coruscant. Oh, that's
Uh,
what it's doing. S- So on the choose a planet and choose a person, it's just swapping out from the depths of whatever, and then whoever says it.
okay, Naboo.
So the picture is separate, I guess. We should be able to tell it to match the picture to the choose a character.
Okay, match the picture to the chosen character.
Man, you know what's slick also? It's doing um it's activating the script for you. So it's just there's no run. Like it, it's automatically giving us the output.
There we go.
That's
Now it's better.
crying out loud. How long is that script? What they do?
It's
They gave numbers to the characters, and then they must be matching the pictures based on the numbers.
Yeah, seems like.
Huh.
Well, this what we did now. This would be considered prompt engineering if we were like to save this app. Like, the whole chain of whole conversation. If we were to save it.
Well, maybe before we pop off, do you want to ask it how do we save this app?
How do
We'd probably
I
just take the
save
script and then we can do whatever we want
app
with it.
for future use? It's telling me to save a local file.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's fine.
I mean, that technically that works.
Yeah. We already tested that. All right. Well, cool, Diego. Thanks. I appreciate it because you saved the day on this one. I wouldn't have known how to navigate that.
Yeah, that's fun.
Okay.
We have to think now of a cool app to make and become rich, but problem is anyone else can do it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna have to figure out. I don't know how to sing and dance or something. I got to find a different skill set, I guess.
You can play the guitar.
Yeah, not well. So I don't know. Maybe people will have pity on me. Just
Did you
throw
talk
me
about
money when I'm
Whiplash?
homeless. What's that?
Did you talk about Whiplash with your friend?
Oh no, I didn't. No, I didn't bring it up. But I will one of these days. I will. All right, I'll probably watch it first. I'll watch it first, and then I'll decide whether I should bring it up tactfully or not to the drummer.
Okay, well, gonna go have dinner. See you later.
All right, thanks, Diego. Appreciate it.
Okay.
See you.
Bye.